Hello guys, welcome back. This is Maxim at Maxim Grunin Art. I am loading my palette with some fresh paint, opening a jar, scooping the paint out, and I'm setting out to do a still life painting of toys. These are stuffed animals, stuffed toys that every household probably would have some of. And there's also plenty of photographs of really cool stuffed toys collections, but I just arranged several objects on the table beside me, and I selected a group of toys that kind of look nice together: teddies and doggies and other creatures. So my strategy is to understand what I'm seeing and quickly draw things into the page with black paint diluted with water, just rough outlines, rough representations, rough idea of where things going to be and what kind of character do these things have. And then the next step I am taking is to mix the colors that are found when we look at the objects. What colors are they? And the main local, the major color is what I mix and apply into these drawn shapes. And I apply it in such way that it's fairly rough, and so this is like roughing things in, blocking, like really blocky, really general information of major color properties, and whether these colors are lighter or darker, and they would then work well if there was a little bit of contrast between one object to another. So I'm doing up the background with a color that is suitable for the objects, being a little lighter, and I am figuring out how I'm going to connect the shadow that's on the left side of the picture, and the light is coming mainly from the top right side of the picture. So here I am digging back into some of the cast shadow, the shadow that's cast by the object or visible underneath, behind the object, and I'm editing that and adding that. And while I have black on the brush, I added circles for the eyes and the nose, and I drew the shape of the head of the creature and its paws and its ear and its a cute bow tie hat. And then I immediately kind of added lighter and darker information to the light brown doggy toy that's there. And at some point I am okay, this area has gotten some attention, and so now I can move my effort to the next object that is there as well. So all of these objects need my attention, so I will go and work on each part for a little while, and not set out to finish it completely, but to still have room for detail and improvement and moving things around. But I'm attempting to set things a little further into being more particular, more developed. Like I'm adding more information to their faces. I am figuring out how light or dark each different feature is going to be. You see, I'm adding a really pale kind of beige or almost white color to a beige skin that was there before, to highlight an area that is facing the light more, and light gray is also highlighting some of the body and the hands and the legs and the areas that are facing light. And then I decided, okay, you know, this has gotten enough effort, enough attention, let's try and develop other objects. So I'm working on this creature, and that's the one creature in the middle that towards the end of the video we'll see that I changed my mind about liking that creature and I remade it. So we'll see that later, but right now I'm just working on figuring out how I will, you know, is this gonna be a cute teddy bear? And then it didn't work, and then I thought, okay, you know, I'm gonna remake it, and I found another toy that I liked more, and I worked that in. Well, you can see that everything is kind of started. So when I go back into each and every part, I am further enhancing shadows and making smaller, more particular areas of shadows, adding eyes and nose and different features of the details. And then I'm also adding light, and so each element, all of this is form. And so each element of this form is gonna need some indication of dark, mid-tone, and light. And then, you know, definitely, so I'm definitely kind of developing these notions. There's some highlights there in the fur, there's a little bit more light on the right side, and then I decided that that was enough for that area, and I went into an area that didn't get attended, like the deeper shadows underneath the objects here, and I kind of touched them up. Then at some point there I filled in dark brown for the body of the teddy bear. That's brown. I thought, oh, it's kind of too light over there, let's make it all darker. Then that little creature at the top that I'm painting could be a gremlin, could be just a whimsical character, but it's a stuffed toy. And I also ended up stylizing its body to be kind of dark brown, and the same dark brown is appearing within the shadow of the ears and underneath the fur, underneath the banks of the hair. And then I created a cute whimsical face for it, like a kind of a sinister, a bit of a cute and a bit of a sinister kind of clown creature. And then I'm still working on developing that teddy here. And you see, if I created this shape of the head of the teddy bear, then I thought, okay, let's give it a cast shadow on the left side, overlap the figure of another toy with the shadow, and you know, so to set up notions of further and closer, darker and lighter. And yeah, shadow is like right now let's get into painting this baby chicken kind of a toy. So yeah, it is kind of initiated, it's kind of a pale yellow, but what about the shadow? So I decided to get purple, gray, and bring that into the shadow area of the figure, so that there is a definite contrast between dark and light. And then now I am setting up a transition towards brown and this kind of caramelly kind of brown, but also little by little I would like to add more light and more yellow. And I'm working on the eyes to give this creature a character. I created a beak because it's a bird, and I'm mixing a really bright saturated yellow to really go back into all of the mass of light on this creature and connect all of the light. And there it is. And that's when the next after a break I thought, oh, next thing I don't like that face, so I'm reshaping it. I found another toy that's that I just wanted to see how that's gonna look. I thought the color is gonna be another color addition to this whole arrangement of colors. It's gonna be a nice addition and a vibrant, colorful addition of a kind of a pink looking toy. and it's got a more elongated kind of face. So yeah, and you can see how because acrylic is so opaque and it only takes even 1 or 2 layers to cover quite well over. Even with just 1 layer, you saw that we can still see through the first layer, but it is quite opaque, quite permanent, quite effective at covering something, you know, painting over something. So that's what painting is a lot about, is about layering and being really flexible and really kind of you know, having that ability quickly accessible. So, oh, okay, paint is dry, I'm not liking what I'm seeing, let's go and remake it. And I remake it in a very similar way. So I established an overall shape of the head of the toy, and then I went back and built additional shadow information, detail. Now I'm also building a notion of light on the form, so it's got light is coming from our top left side, or sorry, top right side, and so everything is getting some light on top right of the object. And ultimately all of the objects then will have their shadow and light and midtone, and everything kind of flows as in masses. You can see that shadow within this entire painting project, the shadows are all kind of connected, and I'm adding a bit of shadow there on over the shoulder of this one teddy, and so to further connect it. And then I thought, oh, it would be nice to see another doodad, like another colorful detail over from, if there's yellow on that corner of the painting, then it would be nice to see a little bit of yellow reappear somehow over here. So there is this hair tie thing that the teddy has. Then I thought, well, there is adjustments here of dark, midtone, and light on the body of this stuffed animal, whereas the rest of the details on his attire or her attire, the polka dot pattern. And so overall I am adjusting everything, and I'm waiting for a kind of a visual balance where things are visually connecting, like, oh, here's all of the details for things, nothing is sticking out to be too different looking stylistically than anything else, like it's kind of stylistically flowing well together. Now I can maybe take another look at background properties and like just add a bit more depth, lightening, and adding more color to the foreground, and more clearly separating the cast shadow that's extending to the left and onto the wall. And then yeah, just getting back into very small kind of less significant things such as details and touch-ups. Yes, they could be significant, but not in a big scheme of things. It would be nice to resolve the entire image and then start paying more attention to focal points and details. And also, I am waiting to see what the picture is going to tell me about it, like what I'm learning from the image that I'm creating. I am very carefully looking at all of the images and how they together visually. And at some point, I am convinced that this is finished as a study of a still life. And I am enjoying the quality, the liveliness, the lively quality, the painterly, like the roughness of the brush strokes of the picture. And I am learning a lot about how I handle dark, light, midtone, how I simplify, how I stylize. So this is like a continuous a wonderful activity to take up. Thanks for joining this painting session, guys. See you next time.